Halachei. Hanochrim Ovdim Esaharim. The Goyim who worship mountains, the Hargis and the hills. Hey Mutarim. The hills themselves are mutar. They can't forbid ground. Mashalem Asurim, if there's any coating of silver or gold on the mountain, let's say they decide to coat the mountain with something, that becomes asur. Shneimar says, Lo sachmo kesav v'zav aleim l'kachta loch. Anything which with the money and silver, gold and silver, which are upon the mountains, you may not desire and take for yourself, so that becomes asur.
What about the shiur tree?
Shiur tree is coming up. Says Mar Rabbi Yisrael Omer Eloheim Aloharim, their gods on the mountains. V'lo Harim Eloheim, not the mountains are their gods, meaning the mountains will become asur. Eloheim Agvos, their gods on the hills. V'lo Agvos Eloheim, not their gods are the hills. So it's almost the same as Tanakama, but the difference between the Bible says the difference between Tanakama and Rabbi Yossi, and also the Gemara here will discuss about somewhat more obliquely, is that Rabbi Yossi holds that anything which is, Tanakama holds that once it's connected to the ground, even if it once was not connected to the ground, it's mutar. In other words, the Avodah Zarah can't forbid it. Rabbi Yossi holds that if it was once disconnected to the ground, and then a person connected to the ground, it's called Tfisas Yad Adam, then it can be made asur by worshipping it. So that'd be the answer by Asherah. Asherah is Tfisas Yad Adam because somebody planted the tree. Okay?
Well, a mountain is a creation of Hashem.
Right.
So, okay.
Okay? So that's what it is. It depends if it's artificially connected to the ground or was there to begin with. So, and that's what he says, Nema Asher Asura. Why is it Asher forbid? Because the human being had control over it. Anything which had human being had control over, asur is forbidden. Let me be, the Ovin seems to me, although they want us to discuss it, the one who explains the language of Havana in front of you. What does the pasuk mean? If the mountains and hills themselves are not asur, so when the pasuk speaks about that they worship the hills and the mountains, it means that any place to find a high mountain and a tall hill, and a fresh tree, you should know that there's an Avodah Zarah there. It itself is not the Avodah Zarah, but there is an Avodah Zarah there. But the Pasuk is telling us that the Canaanites were so rampant in Avodah Zarah, wherever you found one of these geographical features in Mistama, there was an Avodah Zarah there. Okay? Rabbi Zir, Rabbi Yasser, Rabbi Yisrael, Chanir, B'Shem, Rabbi Moshe, they all said, Kosev Echad, Rabbi says, Lo Sachmo Kesef Zav Aleim L'Kachto Loch. Do not covet the silver and gold upon them and take for yourself. Kosev Echad, another pasuk says, Kesef Zav Asheri Mohem. The gold and silver which is with it, which is with them. Right? Number
35.
One is Alehem and one is Imayim. It happens so randomly. One is Alehem and one is Imayim. So, Im Alehem lam Imayim, Imayim lam Alehem. What is, if it's upon them, what does it mean with them? If it's on them, what does it mean? If it's with them, why does it mean upon them? If it's upon them, what does it mean with? If it's with them, whatever. What are the two terms? Okay, so it says Ma'aleim Davar Shu. Now I'm going to learn a chart Eretz Yisrael right now, even though later I'm going to deviate from what he's saying. So Ma'aleim Davar Shu. Take out the words Miyuchad Lahem. Davar Shu Tachshid Lahem. Aim is obviously something which is adorning them. Okay, it adorns Avodah Zarah, something which is placed upon them. Afi Moyim. So too, when you find something with Avodah Zarah, it's only forbidden if it's a davar shu, take out the words Milchalem, Tachshud Lem, it's got to be adorning the Avodah Zarah. And Morris is going to give an example. Okay, so something which is on the Avodah Zarah is adornment. The thing which is with the Avodah Zarah, which comes forbidden, is adornment as well. Okay? Rabbi?
Christmas tree. Without the adornment.
No, Christmas tree is not Avodah Zarah in of itself. In Pashas, it's not Avodah Zarah because it's not meant, it's just meant to celebrate the season. It's not meant to be worshipped. So that, it would be, have to do with, like if they put a a necklace around an idol or something like that. That would be a tachshit. Okay? So Rabbi Yonah Rabbi Yanai, Rabbi Yonah's the name Rabbi Yanai, call Shechnisu Lefnim Min Kankalim Asu. Anything which is within the Kankalim, we said, is like the sanctum. So it's like a kind of a roped off area. I don't know exactly what it looked like, but a sanctum inside the Avodah Zarah's a church, whatever it is, a sanctuary. So anything within the Kankalim is asur, is forbidden. Kigon, such as kisim shamos, such as bags of silver, bags of money. Okay? Rabbi Yassi said, now the way the most unfortunate learn the reason why it's also because of tikroi b'Avodah Zarah. It's something which is brought as an offering to Avodah Zarah, and therefore becomes an offering when it's placed within those confines of the Kankalim, whatever those boundaries are. Okay. Promise. Rabbi Yisrael says, Simon Havalon b'Shvi Behador. We had a simon in this matter. We had a tradition meeting that Rabbi Yeshua pliga Rabbi Yanai. Rabbi Yeshua argues on Rabbi Yanai because Rabbi Yeshua, the one who was talking about imoim and aleim imoim, right? Stuff which is on them and stuff which is with them, stuff which is with them, stuff which is on them. Argues Rabbi Yanai spoke about the money. So, as Samara, it's not arguing. Velesi el Messiah law. It's really agreeing. Because it's saying that anything which is, it has to be something which is adorning, right? And the money adorns, right? So it says, the Gemara, the Kashai shows the word elakini. Okay, even without that you can learn it. Ma pligam, ma leim, davashim yuchalem tachshit. Rabbi Yeshua, in order to make the machlokas, Rabbi Yeshua must say that the aleim doesn't just apply that it's a tachshit, but it's miyuchad leim tachshit. It's uniquely functioning as a tachshit. It functions uniquely as an adornment. Okay? Now, uniquely as adornment. All right, let me just go for a bit. Afimoyin, so too something which is with them. It's got to be something which is unique to an adornment. Yotzu kisim shamos, the bags of money, they're not a tachshit. They might be considered to be adorning, but they're not a tachshit miyuchad. Because the tachshit miyuchad, the way we read Baz, but the Shari actually argues on this point, is it's miyuchad, it's designated for Avodah Zarah, but it's not a tachshit. So it needs both. It has to be the miyuchad and it has to be a tachshit. And this is not a tachshit. The Shari learns the opposite. It is a tachshit to have money, like I started saying in a moment ago, but it's not miyuchad. It's not specific. But I think it's the other way around. The Ridbaz makes more sense.
Well, it's not an adornment. It's just a sack of money that's lying next to the get shirt.
Right. So that's not tachshit miyuchad.
If you took the coins and made it into a necklace and put it around the neck.
So that's machlokas. Rabbi Yanai holds it's also no matter what, because it's tikrei b'Avodah Zarah. Okay. Rabbi Yeshua's tikrei, it's not tikrei b'Avodah Zarah. It has to be a tachshit miyuchad. Tachshit miyuchad means it's A, designated miyuchad, and B, a tachshit, it's adornment. Then the money is not adornment. Okay. So the does end the bargui. Rabbi Ba b'Shem Rabbi Yudah said, "Vafilu mayim u'melach, even water and salt is also." Now, most unfortunately, we learn here that it's also about the krevis Avodah Zarah. So about they're also because they're brought before the Avodah Zarah. But I think it's actually they're also because they're a tachshit, not as an offering. How so? Because look at the next line: Melach l'shuf u'mayim l'diach. Because salt is used to rub the Avodah Zarah, to scrub. Now, some say to scrub in front, the floor in front. But I think the other one means to scrub the Avodah Zarah. They use the salt to scrub it like a soap, and they use the water to rinse it. So that's a tachshit. A tachshit is not defined just as, jewelry, but anything which adorns the Avodah Zarah. And salt and water can be used to adorn the Avodah Zarah. That's how I would learn this Gemara. Okay? It says Marvahen Afilu. And why is that an even, right? It says Afilu Maimu Melech, right? Even water and salt is also. They're using it to rinse, to rinse and to scrub. So what does it mean Afilu, right? Ella, rather, Katie. This is way to read. Goat, sorry. Let's say Katie. What it means to say is things like salt and water are considered to be either, according to most of the Farshim, to kroy v'sakum, because they bring them, or they're considered to be tachshit akum, because they're used to adorn the Avodah Zarah, and I think it's the latter shot. That they use the word or adorn the Avodah Zarah. Okay, hanevad. Let's say I worship something. I worship an object, an animal, right? Hanevad is tani. There are those who learn ben shelo chaveru. Regardless of whether I worship my own animal or your animal, or sticks and stones for that matter. Right? Animal is not necessarily a good example at this point. Ben shelo ben chaveru also it's forbidden. Excuse me. That once I worship, then it becomes aser ba'noah, like any avodah zarah. These tani those on shelo aser. If I worship my own animal, then it becomes aser. But shel chaver, if I worship my friend's animal, mutter, it's permissible. Okay. Why is that? Because ein adam oser davar she'eino shelo. A person cannot forbid that which does not belong to him. Okay. And there are those who learned is tani. There are those who learned. Mandamar ben shelo ben shel chaver. Sorry, Mandamar wrote the ben shelo ben shel chaver. That regards when you worship your stuff and your friend's stuff, it's aser. That's Rabbi Yehuda, and elsewhere it says it's also Rabbi Meir. Mandamar shelo aser b'shel chaver mutter. He says that stuff of your own which you worship is aser, but that stuff of your friend which you worship is mutter. That's Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Shem Rabbi Ila said. Everybody agrees. Even Rabbi Shimon agrees. They all agree. Even in this case, Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda agree. Just like I said elsewhere, something which is alive and is worshipped by another commoner. Even though it's not forbidden for a commoner to use that thing. Because since it's Ruach Chaim, so therefore it does become true Avodah Zarah. Abishan Nesa Lehadiot, Nesa Legavo, it still doesn't pass to bring as a korban in the Beis HaMikdash. Okay, you can't use the korban in the Beis HaMikdash. The Kavasah, so too Davar She'eno Shelchos, which is not yours. Afal Pi She'eno Nesa Lehadiot, he wants to say, even though it's not forbidden to a commoner, take out the word eno because it's obviously extraneous. Nesel gavo, it's also tzakash baruch. So he wants to say that there's a dichotomy. We have something which is alive. There's an interesting dichotomy. If you worship an ox or a cow, so the ox or cow is still mutter b'anoah. You can shecht it and eat it, but you can't bring it as a korban. Okay, so too you want to say by davar she'eino shelo, so which is not yours. You can't forbid it. It's not yours to forbid. But it can't be used afterwards for the purpose of korbanos. Okay? It's like almost mitzvah bar ba'avera. It's a problem, it's a psul in the korban.
It's tainted. It has the shame
right.
of
Avodah Zarah. Shame of Avodah Zarah. Right.
It's like, not an analogy, but
even though
shenogach, or a shiur that was involved in bestiality.
Yeah, but even though it's somebody else's animal, right? I can answer it. Okay, that's a chiddush. Okay? So it says, and so Afi Shein Esleid and Esel Gavor. Now Rabbi Bun Bar Chia said, and the next Gemara from here till the top of the next page, everybody learned it wrong, including till I came along. But then after I learned it myself, not like the earlier Mefarshim, I saw the Ur Sameach learn it mamish like me. Gave me a lot of hanoah to see that. So it says more Rabbi Bun Bar Chia he's going to argue. Ultimately, it's going to become clear that he argues and he says that whatever belongs to your friend, if you worship it, it still becomes mutter to use even as a korban. Okay? Not like the principle you just stated. He's arguing, you're in good company. The Amor we just had holds like you. But he's going to argue. Now, the way he phrases it is funny, which causes him some grief. It says, even your own flour, aser if you worship it is aser, but shel chavero, your friend's flour, if you worship it, is mutter. Okay? So ultimately we're going to learn that mutter means even to sacrifice. Okay? But the Gemara takes a while to get there. Says more, who was he going like Rabbi Bun Barchia? It's only Ben Commander Mar Ben Shlo Ben Shaver also. He wants to say that even according to that which Mandomer who says that your friend's stuff is taka also if you worship it. That's what I mean, Rabbi Yehuda. And that Omer Lois Balkun Bedav or Shem Buruchayim? Is he going to say that all machlokas is whether no, he's going to say that all machlokas was by an animal, which is alive. But if you bow down to your friend's flower, everybody agrees that the flower remains mutter. That makes no sense, right? The pashtus is that a davar sheish bo ruach chaim should remain more mutter, right? Because it's alive, it's like an independent entity. But something which is a mineral or a vegetable, not an independent entity. So even if it's your friend's, if a davar sheish bo ruach chaim is also, certainly that should become also. Do you see? Do you follow the logic?
Yeah, I don't follow. I don't see the difference between ruach chaim and an inanimate object. If it's avodah zarah, it's avodah zarah.
You're in good hands. That's ultimately going to be the case. Either they're both mutter, they're both also.
Right.
But right now the Gemara is assuming that there is a dichotomy. Okay? You don't have to like it. You don't have to like it. You only have to understand it. Okay? It is artificial, but it's not that outlandish. Because again, as I say, an animal is an independent entity. You don't have full governance over them when it's alive. Whereas, okay, look, I'm not going to try to read you because it's more doesn't solve it. So it says, maybe saying Lois Bagel Davar Shem Buruach Chaim that no machlokas by something which is not alive, that remains mutter even though it was worshipped. Says Rabbi Bun Barchia meaning this is an expansion of Rabbi Bun Barchia. Rabbi Bun Barchia is going to tell you, but Davar Shem B'yesh Buruach Chaim you must see. So that what they argued whether it's also after I worship somebody else's thing or not is by something which is alive, right? But not by something which Ein Bo Ruach Chaim. Says more, no, that can't be. It says Bein Ma, but I think it should be Ma Bein. Ma Bein Dispalkim B'Davar, it should be Sheyesh Bo Ruach Chaim. What's the difference between that which you argue, which is Davar Sheyesh Bo Ruach Chaim, and something which Ein Bo Ruach Chaim? There's no difference, like you said. There's no difference, right? Continuing on along those lines, Hadavar sheyesh bo ruach chaim asur, v'davar she'ein bo ruach chaim lo koshken. And if already there's a chiluk, it should work the other way around. If a davar sheyesh bo ruach chaim, which belongs to your friend, becomes asur, so kal v'chomer, a thing which is inanimate, which belongs to your friend, becomes asur. Because the logic, if there is one, dictates that something sheyesh bo ruach chaim should be more resistant to becoming avodah zarah than something she'ein bo ruach chaim, even though you don't agree to that svara. But the Gemara is assuming that, right? Heve, so it must be that what did Rabbi Bun Barchia mean? He meant to say, Shalom Tomar, don't say, Kamada Tomar Tamon, like you say over there, by your own stuff. Davar sheish b'ruach chaim, afal pi she'eino nesel hedyot nesel gavoa, something which is alive. Even though it's not forbidden for a common, it's forbidden to Hashem. To Kavasa, so to Davar She'eno Shelcha, something which is not yours, which is inanimate. Even though it's not forbidden to a common, it's forbidden to Hashem. Don't say that. Meaning, rather say the opposite. That what? That something which belongs to your friend, regardless of whether yesh bo ruach chaim or ein bo ruach chaim, it always is mutter. So that which you had on the Maisa, though, will come out. There's one thing which is not like you. Okay, both of them agree to see that that either both davar she'ein bo chaim and davar sheish bo ruach chaim are aser, or davar sheish bo chaim and davar she'ein bo ruach chaim are mutter when it belongs to your friend. Also mizbeach, not also hedger, right? The question is, however, like this. The question is in your own thing. That the Gemara is not addressing. What about in your own thing? You worship your own solace. So the pashtus is if you worship your own solace, so then it's takat tathim and then davar sheish bo ruach chaim. Davar sheish bo chaim, if you worship your own horse, it remains supposed to do a commoner. However, davar she'ein bo ruach chaim, grain, if you worship your own grain, it seems that it's taka osir, both lemizbeach and even to yourself. Do you see that distinction?
No.
Because something which is alive, you have to say that logic, which we said before, which you don't like. That something which is alive is more resistant to becoming an Avodah Zarah than something which is inanimate. I can tell you it's Svara, because the whole concept of Avodah Zarah applies to inanimate objects.
Yeah,
Right. So that's why the idea that an inanimate object is an inanimate object is more likely to become a Avodah Zarah, right? Okay. So even though your animal, when you worship it, does not become also bana to add, it only becomes also be a korban. Your object you worship becomes also bana. Okay. Now the stuff shel chavero, according to Rabbi Vum Brachila, it remains not just mutter bana, it remains also mutter to be a korban. We don't pass in that way. Okay. We pass in that if you bow down to something, it answers it. Both yours and your friends' use as a korban. Okay? Okay. Says more further. Yishtach, was that difficult?
It was complicated.
It was complicated, but you got the svaros, right? Yeah. Okay, the Yerushalmi are complicated. Okay, Yishtach of a bitza. If you bow down to a bitza, now we don't know what the bitza is yet. Okay? Chizkiah Amar Lo Asur, Chizkiah says not forbidden. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Asur, Rabbi Yochanan says forbidden. What do they argue about? I mean, is there a beitza plea in Chevraya? They're arguing about an egg. If you bow down to an egg, is an egg considered davar shesh bo ruach chaim or not? It's cute chap, right? Because it's going to be alive, but right now it's not really alive.
Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Which came first? Yeah, it's good analogy. So he learned that the word is beitza. Chevraya, the Chevra said, b'chaluke nachalpin, they argued about reeds which grow in the river, and that's the language of bitza. Bitza means a swamp. Beitza means an egg. Bitza means a swamp.
And boats means mud.
Right. Boats is from bitza, right? That's right. Okay, because it's muddy. So it says the Gemara. I mean, the pasuk helps that which the Chevra said. How does the pasuk help that which the Chevra said? Well, it says, "Bechelkei nachal chelkecha heim goralecha." I couldn't actually find this pasuk today when I looked it up, but something about the portions of the river were your portion when you worshiped Avodah Zarah. So it's like some component of the river, and we assume that the river or a wadi is a bitza. Okay? So they worship these things. Chizkiah, who said that it's permitted, the stuff is permitted. Why is it permitted? If you worship this thing, it should be also. Because why isn't Asherah also? Because people had some control over it. And this stuff in the swamp, even if it's stuff which was somehow removed, it was by the elements. It was never removed by human beings. Okay, so that's why, or planted by human beings. So that's why there's no way it can become also.
Right, because it's a natural phenomenon.
It's
like the river itself.
Right. Okay. So, the Adam also, which is something which had human control over it is also. Everybody agrees, bechitin, however, everybody agrees that by grain, because you plant grain, it doesn't go wild. So Asura said it's asur. Okay, the grain which is worshipped, it becomes asur. Period. It says Dimar, but Pnei Moshe, I think, Brit Baz changed it to say Amar, new statement. Amar China Bar Yasser said, the roots of a wheat plant, a wheat stalk, they crack into the ground 50 amos deep. The roots of soft figs, they can break down a tree, a rock, sorry. In Cain, and if that's the case, Mayasu, how much stronger and what the decimation can be wrought by Shorshe Charuv and Shorshe Shikma, by the much stronger roots even of carobs and of sycamores. They're even stronger roots. So,
What does that do with Avodah Zarah?
nothing. It just got brought down there, Chagav.
Did the Gemara forget about the beets?
Yeah, the Gemara never resolves it. No, it never resolves it. Actually, Rambam Paskins the Rambam Paskins Lakula. That by Beitza, he passed on that Chizkiah, Taka is not also.
And beets?
Beitza, I don't remember any Paskins actually. I don't think he actually Paskins. He learned the Gemara Beitza though. Okay? So in any event, I think the Ritbas says maybe it's brought down in this to show that even though it takes very deep roots, it's still considered to be Tfisas Yadotam, because even though it's very Mechuber Karka now, but human beings plant it, so it's Tfisas Yadotam. That's what he wants to say. Okay, it says Amrei says once every 30 days, time olo mashkeosam. The waters of the deep come up and they moisten all these roots, because there's not rainwater cannot get these roots. They're so far down. My time what to teach us this, and Hashem Notra, I Hashem who watches over it. At the proper moments, I will give it to drink. The land only drinks from rainwater based on its upper width. Chesma literally means the blocking width, and that's why the waters from for any roots below the upper surface have to come from these deep wells, whatever the case may be. Okay, says more weiter. Beitas Avodah Zarah. The egg of Avodah Zarah. Now here I tell you it's definitely about beta, right? Actually, the Sharatis puts in the words in the beginning of the next page where it says ego shel orla shenoto, also a nut of orla which you planted, an orla nut. So beta Avodah Zarah shenoto Havra became a chick. Chagai b'shem Rabbi Yeshua said he's balgun kahana Chizkiah. They argued the two of them. Kahana emermu teres. Kahana says, even though you worship the egg, the Avodah Zarah, the chick is not usher. Okay, it's like something else. Chizkiah mates Chizkiah marasur. Chizkiah says forbidden. The kasha by the Chizkiah, they asked him Chizkiah, hey, chav sharle beitzas Avodah Zarah shetesei efrach. Chizkiah is one who said be the top. If you worship something which says no tvisas yadodim, you're part of it, you're exempt, right? So where's the tvisas yadodim by an egg?
No, unless you get the chicken may be...
Right, so the Gemara obviously doesn't hold that, right? So it says the Gemara, Kasha the Chizkiah, Herel shal beitz Avodah shetesei efrach. Manachem, what are you talking about? If it's talking about a case where you were kind of the egg by bashing it in, he kind of froch, it ain't going to get to a chick, right? It's dead. If kayamin, and if the im shechnis lefnim can call him, if you want to answer the egg because you brought it within the confines of the temple, so tochamei, look at it this way. Or like Toshma. Rabbi Chizkiah is what it says. If you bow down to it, it doesn't answer because no tvisas yadodim, right? So nation calling asur just because you brought it into the area of the sanctuary of Avodah Zarah becomes also. Why is that? Omer Rabbi Yehuda, I believe the Rabbi Betanya. So the father Rabbi Yehuda said, the father Betanya said, "Tipata shegirei Avodah Zarah." We're talking about that you did something to it. You didn't destroy the egg. You rubbed it or scrubbed it or
painted it for
Easter egg. That's right.
Did they have eggs in those days for Easter? When did that start?
I thought so when the White House got a lawn. So in any event, so therefore, it can't be also right. So it has to be also dafki did a ma'aser to it. You bought the shagir b'Avodah Zarah. Turn the page. The first 5 words we read already before. Egel Torah shor shenata bo. Nishnata. If you planted a nut of orla, same malach as the eggs. Chem beitzas hektish shenasa nasa sefruach. It's told to by the egg of the hektish, which became a a chick, you have the same issue with its hektish. Not talking about Avodah Zarah, not talking about hektish. As Rabbi Yosef said, Yispagun kan Rabbi Yochanan. Rav Kan Rabbi Yochanan Machlokas. Kan Amar did about this Beitzas hektish, which became Afrach. Right, this egg, which be of hektish, not of Avodah Zarah now, which became a chick. So Rav Amar Asur, Rav said it's Aser. As hektish, Rabbi Yochanan Muteres, Rabbi Yochanan says permitted, it's considered bichul. Rabbi Zira kum Rabbi Yasa, Rabbi Zira said in front of Rabbi Yasa. What about V'hodamar? It should be V'hodamar Rabbi Yochanan. What about that which Rabbi Yochanan said it's okay, right? How can pass against Rabbi Yochanan about these? What? Yeah, what's so I'm so sorry. The fourth line now. Rabbi Yasi Kuk Rabbi Yasi, V'adam Rabbi Yochanan, that which said muteres. It should be take out the word who. It's never muter really. You know, we chas v'shalom wouldn't let a chick out of hektish if we could help her without money, right? So therefore, how does it work? He says. Yeah, what's the place? Yeah, so it's a typo there. It should be Afu Poda Bisman Zara. That which he said it's mutter is not really mutter, but it means you redeem it as it was at the time that it became seed. Meaning, you redeem it at the price it was, I guess, when it was hatched. Kahanamar, where am I?
So just 6 lines down.
Thank you. Rabbi China and Asar Rabbi China, Rabbi Yena, Rabbi Loz Shem Kana said, "Place of Isman Zara." You go after the time it was went to seed. Rabbi. They both said it before. You know what's the Merzer saying? It shouldn't be Isman Zara. It should be.
The anal swans.
So I get it wrong. So this should be enopoda. Here it should be en. Okay. So when you go after its current value, not its value was when it became suitable to be zera. So bottom line is nobody holds its mutter without redemption, nobody holds its author. Question is how you redeem it. Redeem by its current value you come to redeem, or its value when it became seed, which I guess it would poke right out of the shell. I don't know exactly what that is.
It's more valuable once the
right, that's Rav Kahana's chumrah. They go after it's a fully grown chick.
Or it's a double shell.
Yeah, but even Rav Kahana said right no earlier than right when it's hatched. I remember when Rav Kahana was reckoning.
Maybe Bisman Zara means when it was first fertilized?
I don't think it's that early.
I think the egg is laid pretty soon after it was fertilized.
You're right. The Moshe says like you. At the time when it's fertilized. Okay, you're right. So it says Rabbi Chanina b'shem Rabbi Pinchas Amar b'tank b'takno. So let's fix up the machlokas here because it's confusing, as we just saw. Kan Amar asuru podeo so b'kamoshi. God says it's forbidden, meaning that you deem it as it is as worth at the time of redemption. Muteres, it's permitted. Podos of his minds are you redeem it based on the time when before it was hatched. In other words, they both agree on the principle you can redeem. The question is what the redemption price is. Well, it's more or less. Okay. I'll explain. It's an indication of where there's Avodah Zarah. On Athin Ovin, we learn Ovin, which means Havana, Vistani, those said Ovul Fanecha. I will bear in front of you. Ma'adam Ovin Novo, right? It means understand. Novin will understand. Ma'adam Arovil, Nevil means I'll bring it in front of you, like Hovalah in modern Hebrew is moving. Tari Rabbi Burki Korei Emona. Rabbi Burke said in front, I like these names here. Said Rabbi Emona. This what Rabbi Akiva is saying is Malamed. It teaches us Shalo Nicha Knanim Lo Harva Lo Giva. They didn't leave neither mountain nor hill Shlo Avdollah. So this is a very interesting question. V'lokein tzar memra davar sheyesh bo ruach chaim, avol pi sheinu osel hedger osel gavoa. So it's kavah chomer the Gemara makes out of left field. Something which is not alive, right? Even shel chaveru, right? It's also, I mean, not according to Rabbi Bar Chia, but according to the first side of the Gemara, it's art, which is your side, which is Rabbi Yossi's by Sunday. Rabbi Yossi B'Shem Rabbi Ila said that it's also a gavoh. It's also a gavoh. The truth is here, when the Canaanim worshipped hills, they're also worshipping at the time their own hills. So the Beis HaMikdash should be also to be built. Why is that?
It's on a hill.
It's on a hill, right? And the hill was worshipped, right? So if we say that all...
yeah, but it was Har Moriah. Abraham got to it. He gave it Kedusha. And Yaakov slept on it. Had Kedusha.
Yeah, so was it sentimental?
No, so Kedusha came first from Avraham Avinu.
Okay, so Gemara basically says that. So it says, Avot Yisrael also Edi also Gavot Beis HaBchir Eno Nivna Echon Nivna Beis HaMikdash. Where was it built? Meaning, how was it built? Up in Navi. By Al Davi Kvar Gado should bear be Hashem. So Navi said on Har Moriah they didn't worship Avodah Zarah. Okay. Halachava Misha Beis Usamel Avodah Zarah. Somebody's house is next to the base of Avodah Zarah, next to a church. They shared a wall. But off on the wall between them fell. Also, even though you can't rebuild it, why not? Build it in Avodah Zarah. Okay, so what do you do? Kate asks what you do. Kosok shul, you pull in a little bit into your own property, vuboyna, and you build there. If the rocks belong to him and to Avodah Zarah as well, you split the rocks in half. Avonov, but even his stones, even the stones he gets, so the stones of which might have come from Avodah Zarah. Avonov, the stones, the Eitzav and the logs, Va'aforo and the dirt, Mitami Kesheretz. They're Mitami Avodah Zarah as a sheretz, as a rodent. Shemar says Shaketz the Shakten of a goymer. It says by Avodah Zarah, treat it like a sheketz, and the sheketz usually need to be a young rodent. Like you, Omer, Kenita, you treat it like a nida. Shemar says tears rain, flow them away, como dava, like a woman who's in nida. Say Tomer lo, tell him to go out. Ma nida matama masa, and what it means that a nida is a time even don't touch, but rather if you carry her or she carries something, it becomes tame Avodah Zarah matayim masa. It's some time even by carrying. Okay. It says ksiv toeva b'nida, ksiv toeva shrotzim. It says repugnancy by nida. It says repugnancy by shrotzim. Uksiv toeva Zarah. It says repugnancy by Avodah Zarah. B'nida, I don't know. It says toeva. It says kikosh yasim kol toevos. Anybody who does any of these of the repugnant things will be excised by shrotzim. It says also kosoeva. Don't eat anything disgusting. By Avodah Zarah, it says also don't bring this disgusting things to your house. I don't know what Avodah Zarah is drawn a parallel to. Rabbi Akiva the Nido Huksha. It's drawn a parallel to the repugnant nature of Nido. Ma Nido Matame V'Maso. Nido's Matame. If you carry or if she carries Avodah Zarah Matame Maso. So the Avodah Zarah answers. If you carry her, it carries you. Maybe Anita's matami if she's on a stone and the rocks under the stone. They're not rocks on the stone. Clothing on the stone. The clothing becomes tummy. It's a special halach of Evan Misami. One of those wild and wacky halachas of Judaism. So this was a stone. Actually it's too high. Evan Misami is low to the ground. There's a stone low to the ground which serves as a seed and they've got him underneath to become tummy. Okay? So he says that maybe Omani the Matami Agabe Misama for the Zur Matami Bevana Misami. Therefore, there's also a time between that, but it's on top of a stone, on top of garments. Garments underneath will become tummy.
It's like the 100 mattresses.
The
right?
princess and the pea, but it's reverse. Because here the pea's on top. Right? It's also talking about stone, not mattresses. So it says the Gemara, she would have been pretty sensitive to feel two stone. So it says the Gemara, again, Oma Nida Matame Gabe Minsami, Avodah Matame Bemsami, so do Zem Sami Avodah Zarah. Said Vista Amr, and some say Amr Lo Yisem Shem Rabbi Chista, said name Rabbi Chista. Maida Rabbi Akiva L'Chachoi Mishen Avodah Zarah Matame Bemsami. That Atuma is so obscure and so particularistic it does not apply for Avodah Zarah. Rabbi Amru Rabbanan say. It's like into the repugnant nature of shrotzim, not the nida. Sheretz matami be'esed. Sheretz is matami if you move it. Avodah Zarah is matami be'esed if you move it. Sheretz matami v'adosha. Sheretz matami if it's the size of a lentil. Yola Avodah Zarah matami v'adosha is Avodah Zarah also matami the size of a lentil. Rabbi Zir, Rabbi Yitzhak, Rabbi Lezer, Rabbi Osh. Rabbi Yochanan said. No, Vayitzilu Ba'apor, it says they clung to Ba'apor, Vayochlu Simchei Mesim, and they ate the korbanos of death, or the slaughters of death. This is right, my Mesa time, Kazai is just like a Mesa time, only when it's the size of Kazai. Avodah Zarah, Mitami Kazai, it's only Tami by Kazai. And furthermore, Imam Mesa Mitami, if on the other hand you say that it's like a mace, if this room has a mason and I stick my finger in it, it's already matami me. Why is that?
Because the whole room takes.
There's an oil, right? The whole room is an oil. Yorav Avodah Zarah, so to the top of Chabez Maram Mishiachni by Avodah Zarah, you say Mishiachni is Rosh Etzboisam. It also becomes Tameh. Says more no. The Titzo Gar Beis Mitzvah Shava. Breaking down the house of Avodah Zarah and breaking down the house of Tzoras. Ma bai from the house, ma bai some nuka, just like the house of Tzoras. Mishayach nisroisho v'rubo. You only become Tameh after you get in with the head and the majority of your torso. After Avodah Zarah, so the Avodah Zarah, Mishayach nisroisho v'rubo. You gotta put your hand in the majority of your torso. Amr Achid says, to locate, if that's the case, you're going to drink all every kuli you can do that it's not going to be a kadosh, it's going to be kazayis, and it's not going to be it's not going to be a finger right, has to be into the Barosha Ruba. How can you make all these leniencies? If it's the right, so you have to be machmir. Says Gemara, not true. All right, one said Mechubersi. It is the right. It literally means it's clear, but here Yerushalmi talking that means it's the right. So why the reason we learned to the more lenient one is because there's a parallel drawn to Mesu Sheretz. So there's a parallel drawn to both of them. So therefore, if the parallel is drawn to both of them, so logic dictates that it must be the Torah meant that we should be able to learn the kula, whatever is more kula-dik. Okay? Because otherwise the Torah wouldn't draw a parallel to two. The Torah is a very, very fundamental principle if you take it literally. The Torah draws parallel to two different places, so we get to pick and choose which of the more lenient halachos we desire. Even on the Doraisa.
You should do that more often.
Yeah. Okay. So it says more, Hadar Datamar, Ba'avodah Zarah Shlo Shvur. Now, according to Moshe Farshim, actually, according to Bnei Moshe, this is saying that which he said Avodah Zarah is matami only the size of a kazayis if it's broken. But if it's whole, it's like the halacha birya by brachos. Even a small amount is matami. The Red Baslan to say differently. He says that which it says that it's matami the Rabbanon only is by Avodah Zarah broken, but matami the Raisa even if the Avodah Zarah showing. Machlokas, what is going on? It's going on the size issue, or it's going on the Raisa Rabbanon issue. Okay, so it says more Either that's one is the only time Zayis, or that's the only one which is might be the Rabbanan. Either that means that it's Matame no matter how small, or it's Matame even though Raisa as well. Says the Gemara, the Rabbi Yisrael, how do we see that Avodah Zarah kosher is Matame? And this is Masha like a Pei Moshe. Though the Rebbe's questions out of it. The Rabbi Yisrael, Bun Bar Chaim Bar Guin B'Shem Ra, they both said Baal Rosh Gevia Hava. The Avodah Zarah Baal was in the shape of the tip of the aver. Linking the more we have this morning, the more we have tonight. Okay, that was the shape. Vahava of Kafun Haba was the size of a pea. What is the size? What teaches this? It says, "Vayasimu Baal Bris Elohim." They made the Baal Bris, and the Bris refers to the Bris Milah, right? They made that their God. Okay, Matar Rekiva, Tzadra Rekiva. Now, here the Gemara is really looking differently. It's not saying because it was an option. Now we could have picked and choose. Pick. Okay, we could have picked and chosen. Yeah, picked and chosen which drasha to make, but rather there's a linkage. Ma'amatav time Rekiva that he learns out from Nida Ta'ev to Ta'avenu. It says repugnant, you should make it, and that's like Nida where it says Toeva, right? Well, the truth it says Toeva shirts as well, but obviously he learned Ta'ev to Ta'avenu is more like Nida. Okay? Ma'atav Rabban, what's like Rabban Learn Church? Shaketz to Shaketz Kasheretz. Really, it goes back to drashas we had before, but I'm not sure it's precise. I don't think it's precisely the same we had before. So it says in Rabbi as it may, Ma Makai Rabban Natai Rabbi Kiva Ta'ev to Ta'avenu. Or the Rabbi Kiva's Rosh of Ta'ev to Ta'avenu, which sounds to be repugnant like a Nida. Saving Avleu, to kick it out and degrade it. Ma'il Rabban Avleu wasn't mean degraded. Rabbi Shur, according to Rabban, Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Bobasher Lezer said, say Tomarlo, tell it, go out. Meaning, Esh Koren Lo Pnei Eloha, and Avodah Zarah, which you call, for example, the face of God. Koren Lo you call Pnei Kela, the face of a dog. Ein Kosu is called the fountain of Kos. Koren Lo Ein Kos you call the fountain of thorns, or vomit. Gadye, if it's called Gadye, which means some sort of mazel, so Galye, and Galye is the language of idolatry. Okay? Rabbi Tanchuma, Rabbi Tanchuma said that Ravuna asked, that boy Ravuna, the Chuma said, boy Ravuna, Ksivit says, Ha'ai Asherim Beis Oven Mikan LaBeisel. Says, I, which is the base oven before Beisel. What does that mean? So, Mikan and Krenisol Beisel means that beforehand, he's resolving it. Initially, they call this place Beisel. After it became a seat of idolaters, it doesn't possibly mention the name of God with it, Ekel, right? So then what they change its name to? They change its name to Kirkoso Beis El, Rakshal Kirkoso Beis Oven. Now they call it Beis Oven, and oven is some evil or some negative way. That's what they call it. Taish Rabbi Lezer learned, Rabbi Lezer lo ratzah likros. If a person does not want to, he didn't want to read, didn't want to say Omda. Now, Lieberman and Mesach Shabbos did different gears here. It's not so important to get two words to it. But Elaz said, Lo ratzah likros Omda. We don't want to call it Omda, whatever this Avodah Zarah is, which really means to sustain a person. Kodesh Amida we call it standing and not sustaining. And standing is euphemism for urinating. Okay, so they call it the urinating Avodah Zarah. Okay, because they call a urinal and Amida. Okay, so that's our derogatory name. Ma Mekayim Shiri Rabbana. Rabbi Akiva says everybody. Gemara Shabbos says, "Ma Mekayim Rabbi Akiva." So Akiva do it say to Marlo. As Akiva do it say to Marlo, we just he doesn't. So why doesn't he use it? Actually, why doesn't he use it for? It's the Gemara Shabbos says, "Ma Mekayim Rabbi Akiva say to Marlo." Didn't he use it before? It's a Matan Akiva Ta'et Tabenu Ta'evun of Leo. I guess he didn't use the Tzei before. He didn't use the Tzei going out. I don't know. What?
I don't think we have that.
Then we had the third line. Tana Akiva Ta'et Tabenu Ta'evun of Leo. So why need Tza'eu, you're saying? Navleu. So, just go find a Republic. Why is Tza'eu? Take it out. That's what his question is, I think. L'maisa, so he says that Mamakayim Rabbi Akiva Tzeito Mala Rabbi Yetzer and Rav Huna B'Sher Yetzer said should be Mikan She'ein Omer Lo'odam Ashitzei Achikon Rosh Ruah. Means they don't say go out until the majority, your head and majority torso goes in. Now, Pnei Moshe learns is some Musar Vort. I don't tell you to go out until you go in. But actually has to do, of course, with the when you become Tameh for Avodah Zarah. Right? We don't tell you go out because you're coming Tameh until Rosh Hashanah will come into the room. Okay? Because until then, you're not Tameh. Okay? Ismas Nisa Amr, they don't say, there's a Bryce would say Avodah Zarah Kenida. The Avodah Zarah is like Nida. And the implements used in the service of Avodah Zarah also Kenida. Ismas Nisa Amr, those who say Avodah Zarah Kenida, the Avodah Zarah tells like Nida Misham Sheh Kesheretz, but those who use them are like Sheretz. Mada Mar Avodah Zarah Kenida Misham Sheh Kenida, he who says they're both at the level of Nida, Nicha makes sense. Mada Avodah Zarah Kenida, those who says however the Avodah Zarah is like Nida, Misham Sheh Kesherim, and those who serve it are okay. They don't actually have to undergo some procedure. Kol atzmo eino kohui nida ela b'msham sheh. The Avodah Zarah is called a nida in those things which serve it. The Gemara and Shabbos and Pnei Moshe bring it down. Okay, it says if you serve the apron on the Avodah Zarah, say tomorrow you have to anyway, I'm not sure what the pasuk says. Pnei Moshe brings down, but I'm not sure where the pasuk begins and his commentary ends, and vice versa. So anyway, it's the Misham Sheh Avodah Zarah, the apron of Avodah Zarah, which is called this I know on the Torah, in the Mishnah. So it says, Mora, turn the page, we're talking about where the adornments, which are the subject pasuk, are engraved on the body of the Avodah Zarah. So they're not Takim Misham Sheh Avodah Zarah. They're the Avodah Zarah itself. It sounds like they're Misham Sheh Avodah Zarah, because they're adornments. And therefore they shouldn't be Tameh, they should be Tameh like Nida, because the Iker pasuk is talking about that which is on the Avodah Zarah is Nida. So the Gemara says, what?
Yeah.
Gemara says no. Gemara says not, which the Avodah Zarah is not Nida, it's like Sheretz, according to this opinion. If the adornments are graved on the Avodah Zarah, then they are like Nida. Okay? That's the part and parcel of the actual idol. Similarly, the Dom Rabbi Yaakov Kfar Chanan, Tipoter, you have to Tipoter b'mishtachel aveva atzmo. It says that if you bow down to the apron as an apron, so then in that case, as a misham sheva zotzon sheretz. I mean, if you bow down to the apron, makes no sense. If the apron was an avodah zarah,
it's like tachshit.
Then it's only also like tummy like sheretz. Okay, tach should only be also like sheretz. Here, bowing down to the ephod itself, by Gideon it says he made an ephod as an and became an avodah zarah. He made an apron from the spoils of war. So that's why here, Taki, the Misham Sheh, it says the Misham Sheh not like need on this pasuk, because the Misham Sheh here is talking about Misham Sheh, where you serve them Misham Sheh. So when I talk about Misham Sheh, which should become an integral part of the body, the other talk about Misham Sheh, which are serving. What?
An adornment. It's an adornment, or
one is that it's an adornment, but it's an integral adornment. The others are that they're serving themselves up with a Zorah, like Gideon's aprons. Okay? Masnisa command Avodah Zarah Kanida Misham Shea Kanida. Our Bryce, our Mishnah doesn't draw a distinction. Sounds like they're like everything is like Nida. Says the Gemara. B'tninan we learned Avodah Eitzav va'aforo mitamin kesheretz. Yet at the same time we learned that the stones, the wood, and the dirt are mitame like sheretz. Now the kasha here, mostly what the Gemara asking is that how did the house become any more than? Why is the house not mitame like sheretz? So what's the difference between Avodah Eitzav, which are mitame like sheretz, and the house, which is mitame like nida? 1 second. No, I'm not sure that's the pshat. The truth is I'm trying to wing it, so I better stop, because I only prepared till Mastis to command Omar, and we did already after more than 2 o'clock.